Okay, we are live now. First one, we're calling it the ground truth. As of now, we'll see how that goes for us. But yeah, so this is just we'll start doing these and jump on. I'll take questions, answer it as we go, and then I think as we get started here, because it looks like I am talking to myself. We'll because this is my first one, I'm going to move over to this device and see what it looks like. Oh, there's some old stuff. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we are up. Let me get that closed out. And back to where we were. Very nice. Yeah, so anybody out there want to ask some questions? We'll certainly take them. Until then, let's I think I'll just start talking about the VA clinic closing, which the 20th, I guess it was, of March, there was a town hall put on by the VA. And one of my talking points, I guess, has been that our Senate rep was not there. We did have some other, I know for sure that Senator Blackburn, that she had somebody there. I heard rumor that Senator Haggerty had somebody there. But here's the deal with these folks is that I knew they were there, just I think because of what I'm doing, running for Congress. But I guarantee the vast majority of the folks in that room had no clue. So does it even really matter that they were there? I'm going with not so much. And they weren't answering questions. They weren't, they're just taking notes, which is fine. But, if you're going to, try and portray that, there was representation there, let's at least be honest about the conversation, right? So, but in that town hall, it was just nonsense. This was kind of dropped on us at the last minute, us being the veterans. And I think with the intent that we cannot affect a change and keep that clinic open. I don't know. There's still more developing in this and some stuff that I've been hearing. I'll let it come out in other terms or other venues and then talk about it. But yeah, I think there's more to this story than we're being told as we the veterans and even our elected representatives here at the local level. And I will say thank you to one of my Tennessee representatives, Paul Sherrill. He was there, and also our county executive Terry Bell was at that meeting. And unlike the others, and Congressman Desjardins very clearly stated to us that this was not important enough for him to come and be at this meeting. So all we got, in fact, I'm running over here since we're talking about this. We'll go down, and I'm on his Facebook page, and this is the Scott Desjardins. There's two of them on there. This is the one where he's got like 61,000 followers. But let's get all the way back to. And I need to go back and see and compare, because he seems to be posting more now, odd, during an election year than he did. I remember seeing out of him last year about, all kinds of random stuff he's posting about now. But so his post, and this is on March 9th, says, my office received no prior notice to the public disclosure that this facility was facing staffing shortages or that these shortages would lead to the shuttering of this important VA outpatient clinic in my district. Leaders at the VA clinic in McMinnville did not consult with or inform my staff or myself about the issues facing this clinic, and the answers they gave as to why this was happening and the information they have provided the community have been woefully inadequate. Had we been given prior notice and involved in these discussions, our office could have assisted in finding appropriate solutions and resources for those who rely on the VA and the care provided to them by the McMinnville Clinic. Really, if you're never in the district, how can you expect to know what's going on? And I think I've talked about this. We'll talk about it again, but I understand it's 15 counties. I've been through them. It's a lot to keep up with, but he does have a staff, and somewhere there was a breakdown in communication. Now, I don't know, who in the staff is responsible for the VA, and I would not put it past the VA to be hiding this information, either purposefully or through incompetence, and not letting those know that it's going to affect. And this has been in the works for a while, even in that town hall, which you can go to the Tennessee Valley Health Authority, their Facebook page, and you can view this town hall meeting. Should be in its entirety, and you can listen to the nonsense that they were spewing about the whole process. They cited a study done in 2019, and then the surveys that gave I think it was 76 or 79% approval rating or satisfactory rating for this particular clinic, which I'm crying foul on that, because they were talking about staffing, which as we get pushed out to these other clinics, it's going to do the same thing. They're going to be overloaded there, or we're going to potentially, overload these systems, and it's going to be the same thing. And even outside of that, so I previously, I am receiving my care at this McMinnville Clinic. Prior, I was going into Murfreesboro to the York Clinic, and all these complaints they're talking about there, the exact same complaints could be made of that York Clinic. So I don't know. Are we then going to close the York Clinic? You know what? And I don't know. We'll see how it works out, because they are talking about this shiny new clinic being built in Cookeville. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So right on. All right. Well, I've bumped my gums for about 8 minutes on that now. So there we have it. See if anybody decides to chime in here. I'll mess with my, there, that's, kind of learning my systems here. But so, and here's, and I have a letter on mine too. We probably get time. We'll jump in there in my letter. But so this is Congressman Desjardins' letter to Secretary Collins. And this was dated March 9th. And Secretary Collins, I write to you today to express my concern over the announcement of the closure of the McMinnville, Tennessee VA outpatient clinic in my district. Tennessee's 4th Congressional District is home to over 46,000 veterans. Most of my district is rural, and the closure of the McMinnville Clinic and the McMinnville VA Clinic will force many veterans in our area to commute more than an hour and a half to access the essential healthcare services provided to them by the VA. Secretary Collins, it has been evident that you are committed to your pledge to improve VA services and ensure that every veteran receives the high-quality care they deserve. After visiting hospitals in the VA Tennessee Valley healthcare system, you yourself noted that providing the level of care across the department requires a workforce that can meet veterans' growing needs. That's why VA aligns staffing with evolving needs to ensure we are best positioned to serve veterans now and in the future. And our commitment goes beyond staffing. It extends to resources, innovations, and systems that position VA to be a leader in healthcare. I applaud the work your administration has done to improve patient outcomes. However, I am extremely disappointed and concerned about how the VA has handled the closing of this rural healthcare clinic. My office received no notice prior to the public disclosure that this facility was experiencing staffing shortages, or that these shortages would lead to the shuttering of this important VA outpatient clinic in my district. Leaders at the McMinnville VA clinic did not consult with or inform my staff or myself about the challenges facing this clinic. And the answers they gave as to why this was happening and the information they have provided to the community have been woefully inadequate. If we had been given advance notice and included in these discussions, our office could have assisted in finding appropriate solutions and resources for those who rely on the VA and the care provided to them by the VA clinic. Kind of feel like we heard that before, but okay. The rollout of this announcement has left those who utilize this clinic with more questions than answers. Many constituents in my district have reached out to express their concerns about this closure, not knowing how to prepare for this event and worried that they will be left without vital healthcare services. It is imperative that we work together to quickly find adequate healthcare options and solutions for our nation's heroes and their families. As a doctor who has worked at VA facilities, I have seen firsthand how important these medical outpatient clinics are for our veterans and their families in rural and underserved communities. I request that you provide answers to the following questions by Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. The questions for the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. When did discussions surrounding the closure of the VA McMinnville outpatient clinic first begin? Were any local, state, or federally elected leaders involved in the discussion surrounding the closure of the McMinnville VA clinic? If no, why not? I think that's probably a reasonable question. However, this is a federal problem, so maybe because the county level that the county owns that building, so maybe some contractual stuff there might have been a decent reason, but okay. What is the official closure date of the clinic? What is the plan to provide health care to those who utilize the clinic without requiring them to drive long distances to receive services from the VA? I am gravely concerned for my district's veterans and eagerly await your response. I look forward to working together to find a common sense solution that does not disrupt the quality or efficiency of care for those who receive services at the McMinnville VA clinic. So that's his letter. I'll pull up my response here. Where are we at? Get to the right place. Let's see if it's on here. Nope. Oh, okay. So here would have been okay. And this was from I posted this and I talked about the difference in it. So my letter, all the headings, blah, blah, Secretary Collins. I write regarding the closure of the Department of Veterans Affairs community-based outpatient clinic serving McMinnville, Tennessee. I have been informed, and this is like if I'm the representative, I believe is the perspective I wrote this from. I've been informed that the closure has been attributed to staffing shortages associated with the contractor responsible for operating the facility, Valor Healthcare. While the day-to-day management of this clinic may be contracted to a private healthcare provider, the responsibility for ensuring reliable access to care for our nation's veterans ultimately remains with the Department of Veterans Affairs. The suspension of services to veterans due to contracting staffing deficiencies is unacceptable and cannot be treated as an adequate justification for closing a facility that serves a large rural veteran population. 1,870 is the number. The McMinnville Clinic serves veterans throughout Warren County and surrounding communities in Tennessee's 4th Congressional District. For many veterans in this region, particularly older veterans and those with limited mobility, the clinic represents the most accessible point of care within the VA system. Its closure forces veterans to travel substantially farther for routine medical services, creating unnecessary barriers to care for individuals who have already fulfilled their obligation to this country. Rural veterans often face limited transportation options, fixed incomes, and chronic health conditions that make extended travel difficult. When a local clinic is closed, the impact extends beyond inconvenience. It directly affects the ability of veterans to receive timely treatment, maintain continuity of care, and properly manage ongoing medical conditions. The likely outcome is delayed care and increased strain on surrounding VA facilities. And that's something they addressed in that town hall. Contracting with a private healthcare company does not relieve the department of its duty to ensure continuity of services. If the contractor is unable to meet its staffing obligations, it is a responsibility of the department to ensure corrective action is taken promptly so that veterans do not suffer the consequences of administrative or contractual shortcomings. Accordingly, I request a detailed explanation of circumstances that led to the closure of the McMinnville VA clinic, including the specific staffing deficiencies cited as the reason for the closure, the steps taken by the Department of Veterans Affairs and Valor Healthcare to recruit, hire, or reassign staff prior to suspending services, the expected timeline for restoring full operations at the clinic, the contingency measures currently in place to ensure uninterrupted care for veterans in Warren County and surrounding areas, whether local veteran service organizations and local elected representatives were consulted prior to the decision to close the clinic. All right, I had it in there too, so I don't guess I can ding our congressman too much on that. The veterans of Tennessee's 4th District serve this nation with honor and distinction. They should not be asked to absorb the consequences of contractor staffing failures or administrative shortcomings within the federal healthcare system. I expect the department to address this matter with urgency and to take immediate steps to restore dependable access to care for the veterans who rely on this facility. So a little different. And again, these guys, and especially out of this delegation from Tennessee, yeah, just weak. How about we keep the clinic open? That's the right answer, is to keep the clinic open. And I find it hard to believe. I think they don't want to. And this is just my opinion, that there's some other stuff going on for this clinic to be closed. So that's just where I'm at with that. And so what I've started doing is calling the Tennessee delegation, and I talk about that. So we had those reps in the room, and I see, if you go over to Marcia Blackburn and her postings, yeah, it's like crickets about this. She spent all this time, to Memphis with President Trump. There was something about Air Force One, that, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're standing there talking to the dude, how about something that's going on for veterans? All these guys will line up and talk about how they support veterans, and until it comes time to fight. And then they're like, well, if I had known, well, now. So what are you doing other than, writing these, weak dang letters? Honestly, somebody should get fired over this, and not just the yoinking of a contract. So let's see. So that was March 9th was that post about the VA clinic. Okay, March 12th, now we see a post from the congressman. This is the fun one. So he tells us, over the last week, I have had several conversations with Secretary Collins' office. Not even the secretary himself, but the office. While nobody likes change, the good people of Tennessee's 4th Congressional District deserve the truth. Yeah, you got that right, dude. But while it was my hope that after stressing the importance of the clinic and the concern that has caused many of my constituents, I have been made aware that the McMinnville VA clinic will be closing May 31st. Yeah, good job, guy. We figured that out. The decision to close the McMinnville clinic was made after it had received multiple warnings about understaffing in patient care. I was told that there had been a significant number of patients so dissatisfied with their care that they were switching to new primary care doctors. Yeah, the town hall told a different story. A new community-based outpatient clinic will be opened in 2027. Okay, awesome. They don't say when. In Manchester, Tennessee, to better serve the needs of our veterans. In the meantime, the VA has already started the process of calling veterans to let them know where to go to receive care in the interim. Transportation and reimbursement services will be provided. This is something that was actually already there, but the Tennessee Valley Health System will be holding a town hall on March 20th at 6 p.m. at the Warren County Administrative Office, to answer veterans questions about the transition. And then he tells us, I will be in Minot with General White working on the Sentinel missile program, but my staff will be on hand at this meeting should you need further assistance. Yeah, there was another, I don't know if it was in this one, but there was another one where he said, let me go to that first one.
They plan to.
No, maybe not. So that was the first one. But he mentioned that it was at the personal invite. So he went to talk about missiles rather than be there with us and stand with us. So was it really that important to him? I'm going with not so much. That's my opinion. You can certainly make up your own. Yeah, he's posting quite a bit now. Yeah, he commented about the Old Dominion attacker, which I did a post on that. Yeah, we got terrorists. They're inside the wire, so we probably should be doing something about it and not just posting on the socials here. Maybe a bill like the Pause Act that Chip Roy, I believe, is doing. Yeah, we need to stop all our immigration right now. That'd be a solid move.
Not what we're watching here. I mean, we had the Austin attack. We had New York City.
Pause that mess. Now he's getting on. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Our rep he's looking pretty haggard. I don't know. Maybe that trip to was this before or after?
Michigan.
Let me just. I'll let it play. March 13th. Okay, so I don't know. This was before his trip to Minot, South Dakota, to go hang out with the Air Force guys. But yeah, he's looking. Hey, Congressman, you may want to think again about running some more. You're looking rough, buddy. But anyway, he's talking about the Democrats to fund DHS, which is another story. Now the House has passed the stuff, and now they're dinking around in the Senate. Chances are pretty good they're gonna take a 2-week break and leave them. These guys. I wouldn't come in. I don't know. That's just. Now he's talking about, it's the stuff we know. You must provide proof of citizenship. This is March 14th. He's talking about Save America, making voter ID and proof of citizenship the standard, which, yeah, they should be passing that. I don't know. That's how difficult of a concept that is to understand. I mean, it's all the things. You guys know the deal. And if really this is a leadership problem in the Senate, do the talking filibuster. I don't know what you guys are dinking around about. And for the 2 senators that we have, why are they not all over talking about, hey, we should be doing a talking filibuster? They're yeah. I mean, these guys, they had time to do a doggone dog parade. Get out of here with this trash. Okay, then he's giving us weather warnings on the March 15th. Thanks, guy. Then, here's the update. Make sure you're longer than lines or about the TSA on March 16th. Thanks for the update, dude. I don't know. And then he's talking about the president's chief of staff. She had some surgeries and stuff. Happy Agriculture Week. Okay, that's probably a solid thing. And then talking about just people in district. MTSU President Sidney A. McPhee to retire. And then here's another one. This was 6 days ago. So it would be the 19th or the 20th. Talking about he chaired the House Armed Services Committee, Republican Strategic Forces Subcommittee. So they're talking to these guys about FY27. Make sure he's got to go to the Air Force Base to talk to them about shiny new missiles. And then, okay. Which, some of this stuff is good. I mean, the border has been, secured. We're not turning these fools loose into the interior. However, where's some America First legislation actually passed? How about we end birthright citizenship? let's do that. That would be a thing, and that'd be something I would be going after. How about the CDLs? That I think we could probably, as much shoehorning as we do with Article 1, Section 8, I think legitimately we can nationalize the CDL process. You must speak English. You must be able to read and write English at 10th grade, 12th grade, whatever. But you need to be able to drive like we're a first world nation, not trying to flip U's on the middle of the doggone interstate and weird stuff like that, killing American citizens, or even other non-citizens, whatever. You're just killing people. It's ridiculous. So how about some of that legislation? Instead, we the zero illegals released. Okay, which is good. And then here, and this is again the case of all these illegals we have in this country, which we've been doing. President Trump has been, as the executive branch should do, he's executing the laws. But here's the deal: all these judges doing this weird stuff. So go back, because it's on the Congress for immigration naturalization. That's a congressional function. Pause Act. Let's stop stop the dang invasion. No more refugees. No more. Just stop. That's the baseline. Now there will have to be some carve outs for people maybe that are in the process. That's fine. But right now we're full. We do not need any more H-1B visas. Students, go back to from whence you came from, because probably the intent of this was for them to come here and see our republic and how it functions, and maybe take that back to their countries. But that is not what's happening. Take a look at what we have going on the college campuses and all that business. That did not work. So no more. Get out of here. No more. Cut them off. I don't even care if you finish this year, but you're not coming back. That's how we fix that. And and this is the same mantra. We can use this. How about if we save just one life? If we would have stopped this and got this guy out of here, this woman would still be alive. She's Sheridan Gorman. As Venezuelan illegal. We could have saved just one life. And I, there's obviously there are those out there who are, against that, or want these illegals. Oh, hey, here's a solid post just popped up for us. Today we honor the 3,533 Medal of Honor recipients who have sacrificially served our country with bravery and integrity. This is highest award. This is the highest award authorized by Congress to service members who display conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty. Yeah, no, them guys. Okay, great post. Them guys are definitely deserve that. No comments yet. We can check the comment section. See how many haters he's got popping up. All right, that's where we're at with the VA stuff, and some differences. So for me as the representative, quarterly town halls. In fact, we got one tonight over in Manchester, and that will be looking forward to that. We already had one in November that was here in Warren County. I was pretty happy with that. But so I'm back to this. So call these guys, call these representatives, because this is this about this VA clinic and any of this. I mean, this guy, these town halls. I've heard 3 different excuses as to why he doesn't do town halls, none of which is to me acceptable. First one was it was too dangerous. I was told by his staff that it was too dangerous. So my pushback to that, if it's too dangerous for you, go find something safer to do. I equate this to, when I was deployed anywhere, hey, I can't leave the base because it's too dangerous. Yeah, that's that dog don't hunt. The next one was he's too busy. So that was actually at the beginning of last year when he was, because he's been the chairman of this subcommittee. And so now he's too busy. He's too busy for us, as evident, and we're not important enough. I would add, but I was told he was too busy because of that. Which again, that's absolutely ridiculous. Look at the schedule. In fact, I have that schedule up right now. So within the congressional calendar, and I think this is what was posted. I want to say they maybe stayed extra on one of these days, but these jokers again are getting ready to take 2 weeks off. So you're telling me over the course of 2 weeks, you can't do like one town hall, you can't do a Zoom call with everybody. You can, I'm like, no, dude, that again, dog's not hunting. But January they had a week off there. February, a week off. And in fact, February, the last week of February, they only worked 3 days. And that's the deal with these weeks is they're 4 days. In fact, do I see any of them? Yeah, there are exactly 0 of them that have 5 days. And even so, and really the way this works is, so like on the Mondays, they just report in. It's like coming off the weekend. If you're, it's like, hey, it's first formation. I checked the block. Like, look, I'm here. And then they start working the next day. And then, that last day, that 4th day, like where are we at? March. So like this week, so today being the 25th. So this is day 2. So they had to check in yesterday. Today, maybe they're doing some stuff. Tomorrow, and Friday, y'all know Fridays, they're not too, I bet they leave at noon. And I'll be super surprised if they stay in session with the SAVE Act. I'll be very, very surprised if that happens. So, but back to that. So then, 2 weeks off. So April, they're only going to be, I'm saying 2 weeks, but again, it's 4 days in those weeks that they're working. May is 3 out of the 4 weeks. June, there's 3. June's kind of look, if you look on the calendar, it's kind of funky. So, but still, there's 3 full weeks and then a partial that goes into July, and then same deal with July. So you got those 2 days in July, and then the 2 days. So that's 10 days. 10 days they're working in July. Awesome. And then, so they cut out on the 23rd of July, and then they are out of session until the 31st of August. So they get quite a bit of break there. So you're telling me that he's so busy that, during some of these times, again, and then, like October this year too. They are working 1 day in October, and then, so they leave the 1st of October is their last work day. And then they don't come back until the 9th of November. So they got 2 ginormous breaks, like right there. And I'm sure we're going to hear the same stuff about, we get into September for the fiscal year. Yeah, it's just the same nonsense cycle. And Congressman Desjardins is doing it now. He's signing on with the continuing resolutions, signing on with the raising our debt ceiling. So it's time for a change. It's time for somebody, a fresh set of eyes on this problem. Let's get back to the Constitution. Let's we have got to kind of figure some stuff out. I mean, I'm tired right now of hearing still about Joe Biden and his nonsense. I get it. I lived through it. I saw what he did to us as a nation. All the things, right? All the things. So let's just get about the business of fixing it. And I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear about it. Just what are you doing to fix it, instead of just like, oh my gosh, the Democrats. Figure it out. You're in charge of crap. Quit trying to, just fix it. And that's one of the things I bring to the table is through my life, especially my Army career, is that, throughout the course of those almost 25 years, very, very common for me to get put into some difficult, demanding positions. Some I was picked for, some I chose to go into, and very, very solid results in all of those assignments. So, that's what we need is, and even, some of the, we talk about qualifications, and I've been asked that, what are your qualifications to do this job? My first response is the Constitution. Constitutionally, I'm qualified. Now, and then the next one, as I've been doing this, is to make, you got to, the states have put some stuff in. Again, they don't hate the player, hate the game, I guess. But the game is such that each party has a bona fide process. So, in order to run as a Republican, you can run as an independent, and you can forego the fees and requirements associated with the parties. So, but I checked my qualifications that I'm qualified for the party to run. So I did that. And then what the real question is, how am I going to be effective? What makes me think I'm going to be effective at this? And a lot of it is that background with the Army, and as a non-commissioned officer, it's problem solving, it's working with people, it's building teams, and getting stuff done. And so that's what we've got to do. And instead of just standing around hearing the excuses about, oh my gosh, we've only got this thin majority, which these guys are trying to, there's some expressions, but they're trying to, it's almost like they're trying to lose the midterm elections. Again, pass some America First legislation. Let's get it done. And don't try and snow me with a big, beautiful bunch of baloney. The Democrats do that stuff. And this is a comparison. The Democrats do this, that we as Republicans will call it an omnibus, and pass it in the middle of the night, or like we'll scream and kicking and screaming, oh my gosh, it's an omnibus. They're going to pass it, and they do. And then as Republicans, what do? Same exact thing. We just put a different name on it. Absolutely ridiculous. Should be single item bills. It should be it's like 12 for the funding, and then the appropriations. It should just be separate bills. That way these guys can go on record, because that's political cover. That's some of the things they do, provide themselves political cover with the omnibus. And it's like, well, I had to vote for it. And that's what we hear. That's why, we've heard from, our representative. He voted yes to transgender affirming care in the military. Why? To get a pay raise. And, you can keep your pay raise for the problems that causes. So there we go. All right. Don't have anybody. If you're on there, I can't see. Oh, no. Yeah. So, yeah, this is interesting. Going through some of this stuff. What other issues do we have? Some of the things I hear through the district mainly is the accessibility, and that the town halls. I think that's going to be huge. I think that's a big thing. Not to just show up, because this is what he does. He just shows up to events where he's insulated, and he very rarely is he going to get questioned on some of this stuff. Reagan Day dinners, he'll pop into places like, what do we see here? Where's the last one? So he shows us, him in DC. Is he even at this one? No. I think that's an old, I don't know. I'm going to say maybe it's from this year, but this Agriculture Week. What does this say? So from attending local Farm Bureau meetings to visiting local farmers and ranchers to meeting with future Farmers of America students, I can honestly say there's no better place for agriculture than Tennessee's 4th Congressional District, except when he's passing legislation crushing our hemp farmers. Yeah. And then getting on 99.7 and go, you can find this stuff on 99.7, but getting on there and spewing nonsense about how kids are ODing on the CBDs, the gummies. Get out of here. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I guess it's just a certain kind of agriculture that he's on board with, right? Ridiculous. Let's see. We'll look at some comments. Oh yeah, look at that. The first comment, hemp farmers with a question mark. You're absolutely right, Melanie Johnson. And yeah, I agree. Farmers in our district and all across this country are to be esteemed by all Americans. Unfortunately, your continued support of this administration is costing farmers and taxpayers millions. You vote, we pay for the incompetence of our trade deals, fuel, and fertilizer to keep our farmers afloat. I would say part of it too is our farmers themselves. We need to look at their practices. Maybe some sustainable farming. Let's reel it back in. But yeah, there's a lot in that. We've put into place some horrible trade deals. And again, we're looking to. I feel like this comment is probably a Democrat, but it's government in general that's trying to hose us down and has with these ridiculous deals. And we read the headlines. We don't really look into the stuff. But wow, that one didn't really get a whole lot of comments though. I don't think. It just said 8 comments. So there's some more. Come on, where's the rest of these comments? Here, let me show all comments. There we go. Okay, yeah, so with high prices in fuel, and I think that's supposed to be fertilizer costs, thanks to Trump. Yeah, whatever. Just compared. Okay, they're talking about, yeah. Oh, jeez. All right. Okay, yeah, this is nonsense. I'm not even going to read that mess. Oh, this one, yeah, not necessary, but yeah, this is another vote that they did up there, the resolution that if you're not aware that our taxpayer dollars to the tune of what I've heard is Tim Burchett mentioned 17 million of our taxpayer dollars have been used in a congressional slush fund to silence people, to pay off and hide the sexual improprieties of our congressional representatives. And he voted to maintain that. They sent it to committee to die. I read it. It's like a page. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was solid. There was the victims were supposed to be, they're redacted. But if you're under investigation, how many times do we know this? This stuff is all the time. And they cited due process. And yeah, just stop it with that nonsense. All the time we hear about, hey, this person's under investigation. If the investigation comes out clean, okay, that's fine. Or, get some criminal charges going. But yeah, he voted to keep that mess in place. I wonder what these ones look like. This is his post about President Trump's chief of staff having breast cancer. She was going in for treatment for breast cancer. Let's see the comments. Okay, yeah. Oh, this, yeah. And again, and some of snarky comments is whatever. It's if you feel compelled to pop up on this, and it says, "I'm grateful that she has health insurance." Yeah. And then prayers for fallen servicemen and women who have died in this senseless war. Praying for her. Prayers for Susie. Grace. Yeah. Prayer strength. Prayers. Mainly, I'm looking for the ones that are just goofy. So people. Looking for ones of people coming on here that just we have a need now to just spew the hate and nonsense regardless. Oh, okay. Oh, and then I was mentioned in one of these posts, prayers for her in the military in this country, but I don't think you would be posting anything if it wasn't election time. And then tags me in it, Tom Davis for Congress. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, and I think so. Next week, when we do this, I'll have looked into the difference in his posting last year posts compared to this year's posts, and because I'm curious, it feels like he's posting more now that it's elections. He's like, I I got to pop up and let everybody know I'm still here and doing stuff, which you're not. Again, the VA. Do you really support veterans? Yeah, I don't think so. And giving us weather warnings. Hey, look, the chances are pretty good for me. Y'all are adults. You can check the weather. You know the thing. If you're looking to your congressional rep, that's not part of the duty description. I mean, obviously I care about people, but if you're looking to your, yeah, you're grown. You know how to check the weather. So for me to be posting about that stuff, I don't know. To me, I will admit I may be a little bit biased on it, but whatever. And then, talking about anti-Semitism has no place in this country. Free speech is free speech. Now, did this synagogue in Michigan? Good. They took care of themselves. And no church should. And again, he uses it to talk about fund DHS immediately. Would that have had an impact on crazy does crazy is as crazy does. So yeah, yeah. How about again? What are you doing instead of just posting? What are you doing? I don't know. I prefer to see action. Like the VA click. Yeah, I'm not. And then yeah, again, those terror attacks. I mean, we've gone a week or so now. This has gone back to the old Dominion. Oh, yeah, and good on those ROTC students for. I want to go back. I need to find out what instrument they used, because they said they stabbed this guy to death, which good for him. But good on those cadets for doing that. And then I posted about we lost the KC-135 tanker crash. We lost the service members. And then we're back to him talking about the VA. What is this one? Oh, this is more about Newsmax. Yeah, he was on Newsmax. I don't know that he was with anybody. So March 10th. Yeah, I'm not going to go watch this mess. Yeah, okay, we're back to that. And here's the deal. So he's jumping on. Yeah, this is the one he jumped on with Newsmax. And his quote, "There's no other reason than politics involved here. Democrats need to straighten up, get on board, and put America first." I don't disagree with that statement, but how about, hey, I've gone and talked, at least I think we got a couple Democrats in the Tennessee delegation be like, hey, I went and talked to my, you may not change their mind, but if all we're going to get is like, do the thing. Yeah, no. Oh, here's and we're kind of winding down, but here's the deal. How these guys do this. So back on March 7th, he's running around, like, yay me. We got the ag bill, the House, House Ag GOP committee this week. But he's talking about, hey, we got the farm bill passed. No, what you got, if they passed it, so it was either out of committee or even if it just passed the House. That does not mean that the House, that the bill is a law. That means it went out of the House, it gone to the Senate. And here's what happens. Because of a lack of leadership in the House, is they'll kick it over to the Senate. The Senate will change stuff around, and not just this one in particular, but most of this legislation. The House or the Senate changes it, kicks it back to the House, and they're like, well, okay. And they just accept this trash that the Senate pushes back on them. And so, no, this ag bill, when he's talking about it, had not passed. Technically, yes, it passed out of the House, but it's not a bill yet. Oh my gosh. Yeah, very, very nice. Yeah, so passed out of committee, and that's on us to figure that out. So that's on March 5th, talked about they passed it out of committee. It's like, dude, come once, let me know. Let's celebrate when it's law, and then we'll go from there. So, all right, yeah, back to March. Yeah, he seems, yeah, and go back and watch some of his stuff. That this guy's got. He's kind of clueless on the Constitution too, which is sad given that this is his 8th term in Congress. So, okay, hour's up. We will wrap up. I will post next week. We'll look at the calendar and see what time we're going to go live again. If you join me, I'd certainly appreciate it. And until the next one, this will defend.